In the future, for me, I see a brick and mortar space, an actual building where I can provide space, time, and programming to young and emerging artists to create art on the edge, to push boundaries of like how do you make something that hasn't been made already? How do you communicate and talk about something that hasn't been created? That's been a challenge for me with getting funding sometimes is, my grant proposal can sometimes be only as strong as the imagination of the grant panel. And to hear, to see that there's an African American woman who's making something that I can't totally grasp, I wonder, does she have the capacity to bring that to fruition? These are things that I've heard from people that I know who sat on panels, or who, when I've listened back, it's like they can't. I guess people can't quite imagine how someone. There's a lot of stereotypes that are still out there, So to create a space where we're having more discourse and more dialogue about, making art that doesn't fit in any particular box, and building the confidence of the community at large and artists who want to take certain types of risks, that is what's important to me, having a space to do that. That's what I want to see in the future. For example, even in my own practice, right? Like, I'm going to sing this song, I'm going to use some choreographed movement, I'm going to have an improvisational moment, I'm going to also have on high heels, and we're going to do a very specific lighting experience where there's a pool of light that moves in a clockwise direction. Now, that's a lot of things for me to keep track of as one person, which is a lot of times why my work has happened with just me. It's been one woman shows and a lot of my actual creative practice. And so without space and time to really learn to codify rules around it or how it works, it's really hard to bring more people into my process. It's really hard to, the most recent production that I did was called Center Play at the Southern Theater, and I brought in one musician because there's so many moving parts to it, and without space and time, right, to really codify that, it's been a challenge to expand the vision farther. And so what I would like to see in the future, because there's tons of spaces that already exist in the Twin Cities, but they have their own mission, they have their own vision, and I think that's great. So I would love to see and to cultivate a new space, a brick and mortar for pushing those edges and teaching people how to exist on the edge. That's why I practice yoga, so that I have tools available to me to be on the edge and to still have a clear sense of mind and thought and to create from that place. So that's what I hope for the future. Another space for another type of art making would just be a dream that will come true.